unlimited oil money, a journalist chopped up with a bone saw, and a royal family that runs its country like a Game of Thrones spin-off, but with more gold and fewer morals. This is Saudi Arabia's royal family, and what you're about to see is the world's richest dictatorship, exposed. Stay watching. Chapter 1. The King Who Forgot He's King. Meet King Salman. He was once the powerful ruler of Saudi Arabia, but now he's more like a royal ghost. Born in 1935, Salman officially took the throne in 2015. At first, people expected a strong, active king. Instead, they got silent. The man behind the crown quietly vanished from the public eye. Rumors spread quickly. Insiders whispered that he was battling dementia, that he struggled to recognize people, that he rarely appeared without someone guiding him. And while his photo still hangs in government offices, he hasn't really been running the kingdom for years. Because behind the scenes, someone else stepped in, his son, Mohammed bin Salman, also known as MBS. And unlike his quiet father, MBS is loud, ambitious, and ruthless. He's not just managing the country, he's reshaping it. Every major decision, from oil deals to purges, comes straight from him. The crown may sit on King Salman's head, but the power is in MBS's hands. In a way, Saudi Arabia has two kings, one on paper, one in practice, but only one of them truly matters. MBS isn't waiting for his father to step aside. He's already taken over. And while the real king fades further into silence, his son is tightening his grip, day by day, law by law, arrest by arrest. This isn't just succession, it's a quiet takeover, and no one's stopping him. Keep watching, because this royal story only gets darker from here. Chapter 2. Meet MBS, the prince who plays Dictator. He's young, he's rich, he's ruthless. And no, that's not a Tinder bio. That's the actual Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. In 2017, MBS shoved aside older, more qualified royals and declared himself next in line. Then he grabbed control of the military, the economy, intelligence services, oil, literally everything. In public, he loves to play the cool guy. He lets women drive, opens movie theaters, hangs with influencers, hosts boxing matches, shakes hands with world leaders. All smiles, all reform, all while flying in influencers on jets with $300,000 gold leaf interiors and Cartier chocolates in the minibar. But behind the royal curtain, it's a whole different story. He arrests critics, jails billionaires, shuts down dissent, makes disappearances look like security issues. In 2017, he threw hundreds of rich, powerful Saudis into the Ritz-Carlton, turning it into the world's most luxurious prison. Think silk sheets, foie gras for breakfast, and interrogation rooms next to the spa. They were tortured, pressured, forced to sign over fortunes. The message: loyalty or ruin. He even kept his own family in check. Dozens of royal cousins sidelined, silenced, or simply erased from public view. MBS doesn't just rule, he dominates, with charm for the West and iron fists for everyone else. And that brings us to the man who dared to speak out. Chapter 3. The Journalist Who Never Came Out. October 2nd, 2018. Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi walks into the Saudi consulate in Istanbul and never walks out. What happened inside is the stuff of horror films. Turkish intelligence says Khashoggi was ambushed, strangled, killed, then cut up with a bone saw, all while still conscious. The tools? Smuggled in by a 15-man Saudi hit squad. The operation? Allegedly directed by top Saudi officials. The reason? He criticized MBS. He spoke out about human rights, about democracy, about reform that wasn't real. All while MBS was sipping $10,000 bottles of water flown in from Norwegian glaciers. His body never found. His fiancée left waiting outside the consulate, unaware her partner was being butchered inside. Saudi Arabia first denied everything, then admitted he died, but claimed it was an interrogation gone wrong. Then came the scapegoats, a few rogue agents put on trial in secret. No transparency, no accountability, no justice. Meanwhile, the CIA pointed the finger directly at MBS. He denied it, of course, but the evidence was damning. Phone calls, flight records, surveillance footage. It all pointed one way, to the Crown Prince. And yet, the world mostly moved on. Oil deals continued. Arms sales never stopped. Leaders shook his hand again. Because when you're sitting on a few $100 billion in crude oil, it turns out you can get away with almost anything. Stay tuned, because this royal rabbit hole only gets darker. Chapter 4: The Ritz-Carlton Hostage Party. Imagine inviting all your billionaire cousins, uncles, and royal rivals to a 5-star hotel and then locking the doors behind them. That's not a movie plot. That's what Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman actually did in 2017. The location? The lavish Ritz-Carlton in Riyadh, a hotel so posh it had diamond chandeliers in the bathrooms and 14 kinds of imported shampoo. The guests? Dozens of Saudi princes, high-ranking officials, and ultra-rich businessmen. The reason? Officially, MBS said he was fighting corruption. But there were no trials, no formal charges, just a quiet, brutal operation that looked more like a royal shakedown than justice. Inside the hotel, luxury turned into lockdown. These powerful men, many of whom had ruled Saudi Arabia's economy for decades, were stripped of their phones and freedoms. They were interrogated, humiliated, and allegedly beaten. Some described being hung upside down and physically tortured. And after weeks of negotiations, most handed over massive chunks of their wealth to secure their freedom. The Saudi government claimed it recovered over $100 billion in settlements, enough to buy every seat in the World Cup twice. But the real goal wasn't just money, it was power. MBS was making a brutal statement. No one, not even the royal elite, was safe from him. It was a purge dressed up as reform, a bold move to consolidate power and crush any possible rivals, especially within his own extended royal family. Those who survived rarely speak of it. And can you blame them? In Saudi Arabia, stepping out of line doesn't just cost money, it can cost your life. The Ritz-Carlton didn't just become a prison, it became a warning. A golden cage filled with terrified billionaires, all learning the same lesson. In MBS's Saudi Arabia, loyalty is demanded and fear is enforced. Stay watching. This was only the beginning. Chapter 5: Putin and MBS. Oil, power, and mutual denial. So, who does MBS hang out with? Try Vladimir Putin, Russia's president and global pariah. While much of the world isolates him, MBS treats him like a business partner. Why? 2 words: oil control. Through OPEC+, Saudi Arabia and Russia sit at the top of the oil pyramid. Together, they decide how much crude gets released, which means they control how much you pay at the pump. It's not just economics, it's power. And when Russia invaded Ukraine, drawing outrage across the globe, Saudi Arabia chose a different path. No condemnation, no support for the West, just silence. In fact, MBS did the opposite. He invited Putin over for a friendly chat. These two don't just swap oil deals, they swap luxury watches. One meeting ended with MBS gifting Putin a white tiger cub wearing a Gucci collar. Because that's what authoritarians do, protect each other. They don't just share oil interests, they share values, censorship, control, and brutal crackdowns on dissent. They both target journalists, they both crush protests, they both run countries where fear keeps people quiet. It's less diplomacy, more bromance. What's next? Matching robes? Coordinated palace selfies? Or a Netflix special, The Real Dictators of the Desert? It sounds like a joke, but it's dangerously real. Chapter 6: The Real House Royals of Riyadh. Now let's talk about the lifestyle, not the crown and cloak kind. The kind soaked in unimaginable wealth. Think private jets worth $500 million with gold-plated sinks, custom marble floors, and personal chefs flying on separate planes. The king? He doesn't just walk off a plane. He arrives via a golden escalator rolled out on the runway. And when they vacation, entire beaches in France are cleared just so the royals can sunbathe without peasants in the background. One of their summer homes reportedly dwarfs Buckingham Palace, and another features a secret underground escape tunnel in case democracy ever dares to knock on the door. But it's not just the king and the crown prince. The entire royal family, hundreds of them, live like gods. They buy private zoos, pet tigers, gold Lamborghinis. If your electricity bill goes up, don't worry. They just bought another indoor fountain made of diamonds. They once bought an entire flock of peacocks just to guard a garage full of Bugattis. And the best part? Every time you fill up your gas tank, you're helping fund it. That $70 you spent on fuel? Part of it helped pay for a yacht the size of a cruise ship, parked somewhere off the coast of Monaco, completely empty, just because they can. Ending. Absolute power, no apologies. King Salman may be king by name, but it's MBS who rules without limits, without apologies, and without fear of consequences. He controls the oil. He controls the narrative. He controls the money. And if you speak up, well, you saw what happened to Khashoggi. So the next time someone tells you royal families are outdated, just remember, in Saudi Arabia, the throne isn't a symbol. It's a weapon, and it's still loaded. If this blew your mind even a little, hit that like button, subscribe, and prepare for more billionaire breakdowns and elite exposés, right here on Cash or Crazy. Because in this world, it's hard to tell where the money ends and the madness begins.